For as long as I can remember, I've been performing for my parents, my friends, for my employers, for my teachers, for people I was trying to impress and I was trying to hide from. I was showing up to every room, like as whoever that room needed me to be, or I had to be to that room so that I protect myself. But that only caused a lot of pain and a lot of loss of self-respect, to the point that I am stuck, I'm lost, I'm obese, I'm failure, and I'm not satisfied with my life at all. And I'm saying this and smiling because it's just crazy how much self-awareness a person can gain and at the same time stays stuck in their lives. And at some point I decided to read Jean-Paul Sartre, and I'm smiling because of this, actually, because of how one chapter in a book can, I'm looking for a word to say, the French word bouleverser, which is like turn my whole world around, like flip my whole world and make me think about my life outside of the self-improvement and the self-help industry gurus and psychology, and think actually about what is going on in my head and in my thinking, and what everything says about me. And I felt like as if I am in a lab, I'm a lab rat, and Jean-Paul Sartre is actually looking at me and watching every move I'm making and hearing my thoughts and internal process while I'm overthinking my life. And all I wanted to do actually is like help people with their mental health, with their self-improvement, and it's not really about self-improvement that you look at on the internet and what you see on the internet. It's more about literally being a mirror to people so that they can go towards the things they want to achieve and have. And I was overthinking all of this to the point that I couldn't do anything, because self-awareness, the problem with it is that without action, it's a lot of information to your brain to process, and it feels good, it feels creative and productive. But at some point, you are going to need action to reinforce your identity. And what happened with me is the fact that I was so stuck in the analysis paralysis and didn't do anything about it, to the point that I was like, maybe I can do it, maybe it's not for me. And I believed that. And I chose to shy away from the things I wanted to do to actually post a YouTube video. But I complicated the task of posting a YouTube video by buying a camera, second camera, buying a mic, a second mic, a third mic, a fourth mic, and I hope that's all, because it's a lot of money spent on it. And also, I was looking at someone moving, so I feel a little bit like insecure about filming outside, but I like it. So I complicated the task of making YouTube videos to the point that it was impossible for me to make them. And I have a camera on me right now, like a 4K camera, like Sony ZV1, but I decided to actually not use it because I started to complicate the task to film this video. And I just said to myself, I have a script, I will read it when I need to, but at the same time I will just talk to the webcam of my MacBook. And it is disgusting, I know, but at least I have okay-ish mic quality that people can listen to. And this is what it's all about, actually, is to take action on the things you say to yourself you want to do. And I want to go back to what Jean-Paul Sartre actually teaches, or not teaches, actually, he thinks about. He's like, I will read from the script. So like Sartre wrote about something he called bad faith, the act of pretending. You have no choice when you do. Like, you pretend to be choiceless. You pretend to be someone with no decision, someone who can't act on anything because they have no choice. Like Sartre wrote about something he called bad faith, the act of pretending. You have no choice when you do. Like you pretend to be choiceless. You pretend to be someone with no decision, someone who can't act on anything because they have no choice. And you actually do. You do have a choice. In every living moment in your life, you have a choice. And his example it was a waiter, a man performing being a waiter. So completely that the gesture, the tone, the eagerness, he does everything right to the point that he forgets he chose the job. It becomes his identity. And he knows that outside of being a waiter, he's everything else. He can be a father, he can be a human, he can be a friend, he can be like, I don't know, a boxer. He does a lot of everything else, like he does a lot of other things. But they take that job to the point that it becomes their whole identity. It becomes the thing that brings them value. So acting according to that would reinforce that value. Maybe I'm butchering the idea actually of Sartre, but I am actually learning about it, and for now this is what I'm thinking about. And of course I will be more mature about what is Sartre actually teaching. It's just the first chapter I read. So I read through the first chapter and then stopped reading because I felt that the waiter is me. He is like performing, and the waiter is doing certain things, certain behaviors, certain rules that he needs to be respecting and needs to be acting upon so that he can be the waiter. And the worst part is I didn't choose the role. I'm performing. Like, it was like just a result of me trying to survive the environment I grew up in. I grew up in an environment where I was punished at school. And by punished, I mean like physical punishment and psychological punishment. Really low kicks on my stomach, low kicks on my back. These are the kind of like punishments I got. Punishment with sticks, with like slaps on my face. So it was like real physical punishment, like 40 years old punishing like a 5-year-old, 6-year-old. It was crazy times. And there was really no margin for error. So I would lie to my parents about my grades that were degrading because of the conditions of the school. And they told me to tell the truth so that they don't punish me. So when I told the truth, they punished me. Physically, I mean. Then I learned to just not tell the truth, to lie, so that my parents don't punish me, like right now and every day, so that later I stack all punishment at once and I don't get punished every time I tell the truth. So I had actually to lie to people like my parents and everything, to my environment, so that I feel accepted, so that I delay pain, you see. And the funny thing about that, like about what Sartre say, is the fact that I sometimes feel that I have no choice. And at the same time, I feel like people can change, and people can change their lives to the better and the best, and that people can achieve their goals. So factually, people change, and that thing I cannot deny. And also factually, we have a choice, and not taking a choice, not making a decision is also a decision in itself. It's also a choice. So saying I'm stuck is true. It is actually factually true. I am stuck. I am obese. I am a failure. So saying I'm stuck is true. It is actually factually true. I am stuck. I am obese. I am a failure. I believe all of these things about myself. But I have a second layer that I am not using. I am not doing anything about it. Like literally nothing. I am just overthinking in my head, living in my head. And lately I feel better because I started working out. I lost like 10 kilograms. And I feel better about my body. I feel better in my mind because I stopped living in the mental space in the mental zone, and I started also to practice something physical that will take me out of my mental space. I also started to go out more, to take more, like to go out to the sun and to get some vitamin D, because I was stuck in my head in my room, in one room apartment. And it is crazy, like how much time I wasted on thinking about things that I actually should have been simple to do. Like just right now, I'm talking to the camera and I don't care how long it will take. It is the point that I want to attract people that actually align with me, like actually lift me upwards and move me forward, and I can also help with my videos. So that's the whole point, is to make videos like people relate to, because you talk about yourself, you talk about your life philosophy and everything. So yes, there is a part of us like we are stuck, we are suffering, but there is also a second part that we can actually do something about it. And the only reason we believe that we can do anything about it is because we don't have enough data in our mind that we actually do. Because with my parents, for example, or my teachers, or my environment, or my friends, ex-friends, because I'm lonely, the only data I have is that I fail every time in all these things. Every time I try something, I don't go through it, I don't actually finish it, and I don't get the results. And I fail at everything. I failed a lot at relationships, I failed a lot. I'm married, by the way. I'm happily married. But even my marriage was like falling because of the fact that I'm stuck, because of the fact that I became uninspiring. I'm not inspiring at all. And the reality is that every day I have a choice to be and act however I want. I just don't take that choice. The choice is offering me freedom to act in every waking moment, but I don't take that chance. Every day, like every moment, like right now you are watching the video, but at the same time you can actually be doing something else. You can be actually, like right now, working on a project of yours, writing on your journal, meeting someone you didn't see for a long time. So maybe that's something you have to actually do and think about, like what is holding you back? What is the excuses that are holding you back? And try to find like the simplest way to do it, so that you don't complicate the task and you don't overthink it. And the thing about like performance, I learned it from my parents, because they have like front stage behavior and backstage behavior. Like my whole childhood, one face, I learned it from my parents, because they have like front stage behavior and backstage behavior. Like my whole childhood, one face for the house, another face for the world. And I hated it. Like I hated to see my parents like being in a way with each other, being in a way with us, and being in a way with their friends. They seem like very classy, very well with their friends, but once we are with them alone, everything changes. Like they are different people. Like my mother, for example, like she talks in a different way, in a different accent, and I hated that, the fact that she changes how she talks. Like for example, when we say like in Arabic, in our dialect, when we say I, there is a dialect that would say ena, but my mother would say like enia, because it's her dialect. But when she meets people and she meets her friends, she changes it, and I hated that, because it was like I am not secure enough about my heritage. I'm not secure enough about my dialect, about who I am from and everything, where I come from. And every time I told her to stop that behavior and to actually be proud of where she comes from, and to talk actually normally to people, and stop changing her dialect just because she's meeting people. Because when we are together, she speaks normally, like she speaks her dialect. She's completely herself, completely herself. So the performance for me didn't start at adulthood. Like it started when I was young. I had to survive. I saw my family doing it. I followed the steps of my father, how he was with his friends. My father was someone who buys his friends. Like he pays for everything, but they never cared about him. Right now he's lonely. No one asks about him. His best friend is dead. But just to say that the fact that you buy your friends and you pay everything for them, you give them money, and you do all of these things just to perform, just for people to say good things about you, for people to say that they love you, but they will stab you behind the back anyway, because they don't care about you. They weren't there when you had nothing. They are just there because they can use you. And that's performance we have all to stop, to put our self-respect at risk just because we think people will stay with us by doing the performance, just because we think that everyone will leave us if we became authentic to ourselves, to who we are, to who we want to be. The moment you start acting to upon who you truly are, and you stop performing, a lot of people will leave you, that's for sure. But at least you will never stop living the way you want to be and act in a way that you want to actually act. You will never lose yourself, and the people who will stay are the true meaningful relationships that worth investing on. And one relationship is really important to invest in is your relationship towards yourself, how you relate to yourself, how you talk to yourself, how you think about yourself. And if you perform and lose self-respect and sacrifice a lot for people that don't even care about you, and you know that they don't care about you, then it doesn't really matter whatever you do. You know that you don't respect yourself. You have a lot of hate towards yourself, a lot of negative self-talk just because of that. So maybe it's time really to think about this, to actually take a step back and think about everything we do in life and why we actually do it. And I'm tired of self-improvement, and I will not try to do self-improvement content, even though it sounds self-improvement, because self-improvement helped me to assert myself, but it also made me become like how to say this, a very toxic person. I mean, self-love, praising yourself to the point that it doesn't make any sense anymore. So yeah, I was saying that there is a neighbor that passed by, so I had to stop recording and restart again. So I was saying that I will not like use self-improvement to change my life and to improve my life this time, but instead I will like actually do common sense things, but also like really deep dive into philosophy, but do a lot of actions, like do a lot of videos and try to not be perfect actually. And just maybe this is actually a good concept, a good idea to consciously and how to say that, the word when someone does something, consciously and intentionally doing work that is not perfect, but it has a lot of great value that people can watch, that people can enjoy, that people can actually relate to, because perfection is triggering. For me, it's not really art. It's not something that I enjoy. Even for video games, I don't play realistic video games. I play games like Short Hike, like pixelized low poly games or pixel art games. I play things that a lot of people find ugly, because I feel like there are a lot of art in it, a lot of soul to it. Like in perfection, there is a lot of I don't want to be polished like a lot of self-improvement gurus. I don't want to be like a toxic masculine man who blames women for everything that goes wrong in their lives. That's a way to be alone your whole life. And I don't want to go through self-improvement again, because I feel like it is toxic, and it made me become toxic. It stopped me from being a nice guy. But I'm a nice guy. I'm a nice guy. I'm a respectful man. I respect people. But now I learned to have boundaries and to stop people from disrespecting me, or I don't even need to go there, because the way you treat yourself in front of people and the way you treat yourself also outside of when you are alone tells a lot about you. And people will respect you anyway, because they will see you and they will watch you and they will see how you talk and behave. And if you allow disrespect, then they will disrespect you. For me, I believe that we are all born with respect and all deserve respect, but we own disrespect. And yeah, that's for me. Like, I'm a nice guy who knows his boundaries and everything, but I'm not like a nice guy voluntarily, like someone who does a lot of good just for the sake of gaining love or gaining anything like that. I don't care about that, because at the end of the day, people will be people. Like, you're gonna be criticized, you're going to be hated. People will hate you, people will like you, people will talk bad about you, and that's life. That's it. Like, what's the point of pretending, and what's the point of performing and putting in a performance just to please people and to make them love you and to make them like you? You can't. They will maybe like you for first time, second time, third time you give them things, but then they will be used to use you, you know. They will be like, you teach them how to behave with you, like you teach them how to treat you, and if you show them that they can use you, they will actually do that. Like, for me, like, I did this, like, I'm reading now from my script because I need to have like a direction. Yeah, I told myself that that at least I was aware of it. Wait, for me, like, I did this, like, I'm reading now from my script because I need to have like a direction. So yeah, I think also self-improvement like operates in a way that it monetizes on our insecurities and the belief that there is something that need to be fixed. And the fact that we believe that we need to be fixed is already a problem, because the moment I believe that about myself, that I believe that I need to be fixed, I found self-improvements, I found the gurus, like I found everything I was looking for on YouTube, and I started to read about them, or read books and watch their videos and start to behave and act in different ways to improve my lives, go to gym, do boxing, university, work, making money, go to parties. And it was a lot actually for performing. It was more performing than actual work, you know. Yes, there was good areas, good things about it, but generally it is a lot of performance. It is a lot of performance that you don't actually need. And people adopt self-improvement language, and it becomes the new identity they perform. They subscribe to certain ideologies and live and exist within them. They follow the gurus who control the beliefs they call truth. They pick a lifestyle, become rigid in it, close the door on any other option and how they could live their lives differently. They treat themselves like objects, pick a model, install it, and run. And that's how I felt it. Like, every time you find a new shiny object in self-improvement, it is a new model, you install it in your head, you learned about it, and you start doing it. The cold showers, I don't know, anything that really you see in self-improvement is something new, a new widget, a new gadget that you actually take and pick and start to apply it in your life. And most of the time is to enhance more creativity, not creativity. It's not about creativity, it's about performance. And this is the important thing for me. It's like, it's all about like polishing your statue, polishing your personal brand, how you appear in front of people and how people will think, how feel about you, how people will feel about you and think of you. It's all about like how relationship, how you relate to, how others relate to you, like what people see in you, what people see of you. It's more about others than yourself, self-improvement. And it's crazy, like praising yourself and doing all this work for what? Really for what? To be good, to feel more confident? Is that the point? Self-confidence? Isn't maybe self-confidence a result of self-respect and also self-concept, like your self-image? I don't know, and a lot of action towards like your goals and feeling more aligned. in life and having peace in your mind. I mean, I'm obese. I hate my life. I hate the life I have, but I don't hate myself for it. I despise the fact that I did not do enough, but at least I'm trying. I didn't. I'm doing it right now, and not perfectly, even though I have the material to do it perfectly. I just choose not to because I want to do it in the simplest way. And I want my videos to be like long format. I don't want people to watch my videos for like 5 minutes and then another video, another video, another video. And then it feels like I'm producing again short format to people and appearing polished for the sake of appearing polished and being another guru. To watch my videos for like 5 minutes and then another video, another video, another video. And then it feels like I'm producing again short format to people and appearing polished for the sake of appearing polished and being another guru. I hate gurus and I hate gurus and I hate being one. I don't want to be like that. So you just perform more and more and more. And that's exactly what Sartre mean by bad faith. You can change the custom as many times as you want. As long as you are still pretending you had no choice, as long as you are still treating yourself as a thing shaped by circumstances, rather than a person who chooses, you are still the waiter, just a different restaurant. So you have to accept the fact that you have a choice, that you are choosing to be in the circumstances you are going through. Yes, there are circumstances that are, for example, people in Gaza suffering. These are things that we have a luxury to not go through. But it doesn't mean that you are better people. I feel really bad when talking about this because I lived with Palestinians. I love these people and they are good, really good people. But the fact that living these circumstances, you have no choice over it. The only choice that you have is how to survive in the moment. But we are in a better place, meaning safe, at peace. Maybe that will change, you know. Maybe one day your country will like be on war, and if your country in war, maybe your whole life will change completely. And why not start right now doing the things you want to do before death comes and take us away? At least you live your life avoiding like not performing and actually living it, going through it, actually appreciating it, because it is important for us to go through these things, to actually live the life we want, we desire, we actually give it a shot. As long as it is a life that is aligned with who we are, we know why we want it, it is a good thing. So I told myself that at least I was aware of the fact that I'm a failure, I'm obese, and I'm not feeling good, and one day that will change. And that awareness was enough for me that I'd understand. And that awareness was enough for me, that understanding the pattern meant I was above it somehow. Like understanding why, and that awareness was enough for me, that understanding the pattern meant I was above it somehow. Like understanding why I was there and the fact that I was suffering was enough. Yeah, I am aware of it. I am aware that I'm going through it. For me, it was okay. At least I am beyond suffering. I'm a step further. I just miss something that I need to understand before I can start acting and changing my life. And I developed such a strong sense of self-awareness that I seemed conscious and understanding and evolved. And people told me I was so self-aware and told me how fascinating how I see life and how I can understand how they feel and how what they are going through and how my coaching is strong and how I ask the right questions. But I was still stuck. I mean, I have the tools why I don't get myself out of the situation. And for me, this is the best proof. If one day I want to build a coaching business, I need to prove it, that I can do it. And if I'm obese and I'm stuck and I'm sad, I'm miserable, then I'm not moving. I'm not helping myself. And I felt like I was like put in a pit and I can't get out of it. Yeah, So the only reason, really, the only reason that I was stuck is that knowledge alone doesn't change a person. Like, and I always say that the best proof of identity is action. Yeah, Damas. So why don't you take action if you say it all the time? Yep. Self-awareness without action isn't growth. It is a more sophisticated gauge. I could explain exactly why I was stuck and still completely be stuck. Knowing the name of your prison doesn't open the door. It's true. But the thing is, yeah, self-awareness isn't enough, you know. And it is very glorified in self-improvement and in coaching, very glorified the self-awareness. But sometimes I wished I was dumb enough to not be self-aware and actually do things, because I saw that I was so dumb that I would take any action that even if it would harm me, and then find out that it could have been bad for me, but it went very good and I had like one of the best experiences in my life. And sometimes actually you need that dumbness, you need that stupidity to be like yourself and just do things. So yeah, self-awareness wasn't moving me. It was making me stuck. So that was one lesson I had to go through and learn the hard way. Saying I'm stuck is true. I am stuck, I am lost, I am obese, I'm a failure. I believe all of these things about myself. But I have a second layer I wasn't looking at. I'm not doing anything about it. I'm not doing anything about any of it. And I'm not making a choice to change my circumstances. I am making a decision by not deciding every single day. Suffer, feel the pain, confirm the identity, and repeat. And then relive, a fantasy of the life I want. Yes, this is very important. I know how much I talked about suffering. At the same time, I have this fantasy of how I want my life to be. For me, like really simple life. It is about making YouTube videos, about really helping people and helping go through difficult things. There is something that is called the split that I came with thanks to my coaching sessions with helping my clients. And I want to have this concept of split like as center of my coaching practice. And I will talk about it more, of course, in future videos. But for me, was doing life coaching, not life coaching in the way that you hear about it on the internet. Anyone can be a coach by reading a book. I did actually a real training. And I was like, yeah, I want to be that. I want to help people, but also I want to make like YouTube channel where I can like post about myself, about my life, where I can actually film things, for example, road trips that I may do later in the future. We have like 2 olive lands in Tunisia that I want really to take care of. I want to grow my own crops. I want to work on my game development. Like I have game concepts, like ideas I want to create, and I want like people to create a community that like the work I do because they align with who I am, and we support each other. And that's my whole thing. That's the only thing I crave from the moment I was tortured, I think, when I was a child, is to self-expression. And for me, like, I wanted something cool, something I'm proud of, something I leave behind, and people would take and learn from, whatever their religion is, whatever their background is, whatever their race is. People can relate, because after all, we are humans before anything else. But then I overcomplicated it, so that shiny dream, it's not shiny dream, it's my dream and my goal. So that was my fantasy, and still. And this fantasy is acting as a relief to my suffering. And this is crazy when I understood it. And thank you, Jean-Paul Sartre. So, a fantasy of the life I want. Things I want to do, dreams, goals, but doing none of it. And here's what I figured out. And this is the part Sartre made brutal for me. I was like saying brutal. It's like a French German thing. You are not keeping that dream alive despite the suffering. You are keeping it alive with the suffering. The suffering in the wrong life becomes evidence. See how much I'm suffering here? That proves how much I really belong somewhere else. And it's crazy. Without the suffering, the fantasy loses its fuel. So unconsciously, you need the suffering to stay. You need the current life to keep being wrong. The pain is the rent you pay to keep the fantasy pure and untested. As long as you are miserable, here the other life stays protected and perfect over there. The moment you actually choose, it becomes real, imperfect, demanding, and you might find out it still doesn't feel like the dream you promised. That's the terror nobody admits, and I don't admit it. Yes, I felt like that's the thing about the whole thing about I have like this imagined life I want to live and experience, and certain things I want to do and monetize and live from, but at the same time not doing anything about it. So yeah. So for me, like, the fantasy was a relief from the pain I'm living right now, but the pain is keeping the fantasy protected so I don't lose it. So I'm lying about my present. This isn't really me, which means I'm never fully accountable for the life I am living. Since my present isn't exactly how I want it to be, I'm not accountable for it, because I can't be responsible of something I don't actually want. And so when I face it and start to try to do something about it, I start to actually overthink it and find a lot of problems I could face. And I try to find solutions to these problems, to problems that actually don't exist. The best thing actually to do is to do the work, face the problems, and solve the problems as they come, and not before any of these things happen, because it doesn't work like that. And that's the choice I have to make. Like, just do it. Just do the work. Just do everything in your power to make it happen. Do your videos, whatever the camera you use, whatever the mic you use. So when I face it and start to try to do something about it, I start to actually overthink it and find a lot of problems I could face. And I try to find solutions to these problems, to problems that actually don't exist. The best thing actually to do is to do the work, face the problems, and solve the problems as they come, and not before any of these things happen, because it doesn't work like that. And that's the choice I have to make. Like, just do it. Just do the work. Just do everything in your power to make it happen. Do your videos, whatever the camera you use, whatever the mic you use. Just do the videos so that the people that relate to your work can finally find you. And you can finally, surely, certainly find them, because that's the most important thing, is for you to find the people you are looking for that align with who you are. Finding you is a good thing, but you need them. You need these people. I need you. Like, if you are still watching, congratulations. Sartre would say, like, you are always choosing, even when it feels like life is just happening to you. The person who spends years in the wrong life while feeling pulled towards another has chosen that. And it is true. Like, my problems are my responsibility. My life is my responsibility. It's maybe I'm gaining something from all the suffering. And lately I was thinking about that and realized that it's maybe keeping me safe somehow. Like, suffering like this is maybe keeping me safe. And it is something I need to think about. And I need to know it, even if it's hard to hear, that I am 32 years old. I haven't seen my parents in 13 years. In a month, I am going back, and I made myself one promise. I will stop performing for them. I will stop auditioning for their approval, whatever it costs. That promise only became possible the moment I stopped. The thing is that since I didn't see my family for 13 years, now I'm going back, like, to live with them, because they have a big house and I need to be there so that I can help my father and everything. It is challenging for me because it was a place where I was suffering a lot and I was tortured a lot and everything. And I love them. And I don't really... Yes, it was difficult and it was hard, but At the same time, I think I was doing all of this to keep myself failure, so that I don't go back there, because as long as I am a failure and didn't succeed yet, I cannot go back to my parents. Otherwise it will be shameful, because my mother used to say, what would people say about us when I do something wrong, even if it is like a small thing. So I would say, like, as long as I am not succeeding in life, I can keep myself from succeeding, and keep myself from the pain I was going through back when I was like 5 years old. And it is crazy how much it affects us in our present. But it is at the end of the day, it is my responsibility. It is our responsibility, like, to look back at ourselves and say, we have a choice. We have a responsibility. We have the decision to actually do something about it, not do something about it, or not take a decision at all. Whether that decision is good or bad, it is best to do something where you do a lot of mistakes than doing nothing. Because doing nothing, what are you going to blame? You are going to blame life, circumstances that you didn't choose. If you don't pick for yourself, someone else will pick for you, or life will pick for you, and you don't want that. So it is not to tell you that you have to blame yourself for it, but more of, you have to learn to be courageous thanks to it, because it is really a good step forward for you and a good test, so that you can learn to be courageous and to go out there and do the things that you actually want to do, instead of trying to appeal to others and trying to perform all the time. There are a lot of infinite possibilities of what you can do and who you can be. We are not our body, we are not our circumstances, we are not our past, but all of these things tell something about us. We have to own our future. Like, you are free and changing. So act upon your future and believe in the fact that you can change, and you can actually become something else if you want to become something else. And it's not about, like, find your purpose in life. Just start acting upon what you value the most right now and what you actually live by right now, and start thinking about that and growing on your strength. Like, focus on the things that makes you on your strengths, but don't focus a lot on your weaknesses. Like, for now, like, really look at your life and say what needs to be looked at right now. For now, like, really look at your life and say what needs to be looked at right now. For me, losing weight, getting fit, getting my health back, posting YouTube videos, work on my game. For me, these are the things that need my attention. For you, it could be something else. So just look at your life. Maybe your grades maybe look at the things you are not doing, like, fully. You are not, like, putting a lot of honest work on it, and start by being really honest and truthful towards it. And I think that could help a lot, because it will change the way you operate and think. And as I said, action is the best proof of identity. So when you do that, you prove to yourself that you do your best work in everything possible. So yeah, I'm sorry for the long video. I'm not sorry for the long video. I love yapping about these things. So thank you for watching this video, and I really appreciate that you are here. If you are still here, I don't think that anyone will finish this video, but if you did, please let me know, and I see you soon. Bye bye. Tschüssi.